Good evening. This is Tim from the kitchen this time, not from the workshop. It's warmer in here, so it's more conducive to what I'm doing. What you see in front of you is the ABS pattern, which has been printed. I'll show you the underside of that. It's got a hexagon pattern in the bottom to allow it to withstand some weight. With a bit more solidity, and that's currently mounted on a piece of MDF painted with polyurethane varnish, which is making a terrible pong at the moment. That is in order to make the MDF non-porous, because later on I'll be applying a skin of T28 silicone over this, followed by a much thicker layer of T28, but with a thixotropic additive to make it much thicker, more like a paste than a runny silicone. There will be, you'll see that there's a couple of lines around the pattern on the MDF. The first one of those will be the extent of the silicone, so it'll go down the side of the pattern and then sideways for about 1.5 inches around, and into that, when it's cured, will be cut dovetails. I've drawn pictures sort of showing the kind of thing, and those will be later used to register the silicone mould in the plaster of Paris one, which goes over the top, which forms the hard shell, so that later when it comes to casting the mould won't deform. That's the theory anyway. It's all new to me, but I've got all the gear now, so with a bit of luck it'll all work well. And then the final ring just shows the extent of the plaster of Paris mould, and it's for this plaster that I've used the polyurethane varnish, because otherwise it'll soak into the MDF and just turn to porridge, which we don't want. Now the idea is that once that's all prepared as a mould, is that a EP426 resin from Alchemy, which is a alloy infused resin, will be cast into the silicone mould, and then the pattern you see in front of you will have a new skin of silicone on the top, and that'll be pressed down and held into the female mould in such a way as to give about 1 inch thickness of resin. So it should be good and solid, 1 inch thick, more or less the consistency of metal in fact, and that should be perfectly adequate for my purposes. Clearly the resin is fairly expensive stuff, so if I didn't do that I'd have to use 11.5 litres of it, which cost a king's ransom. So it's a way of economising and also keeping the weight down. Anyway, that's the theory. So over the coming week or so I'll be making more progress on this and trying not to blow myself up in the process, which, assuming I contrive not to, there will be a following film. That's it for now. Cheerio.